Hello everyone. In this video, two English teachers are having a conversation about a problem almost every learner faces. Why do you forget English words so easily? You study vocabulary, you think you know it, and then when you need it, the word just disappears from your mind. Today, we'll talk about why this happens and what you can actually do about it. This is for intermediate learners at B1 level who want to understand memory and improve vocabulary retention. Thanks for meeting me today, Emma. I really wanted to talk about this topic.
Of course. Memory and vocabulary. It's something all my students struggle with.
Mine too. They always say the same thing. I studied these words yesterday, but today I can't remember them.
I hear that constantly. It's so frustrating for them.
And for us as teachers, because we know they put in the effort.
They really do, but effort alone isn't enough.
Exactly. So let's talk about why this happens. Why do students forget English words so quickly?
There are several reasons. Should we go through them one by one?
Yes, let's do that. What's the first reason?
The most common one is lack of context. Students learn words in isolation.
What do you mean by isolation?
They see a word on a list, they memorize the translation, but they don't see it used in sentences.
So the word has no connection to anything.
Exactly. Your brain remembers things when they're connected to other information.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say a student learns the word exhausted. If they just memorize exhausted equals very tired, that's weak.
What's the better way?
Learn it in context. After running the marathon, I felt completely exhausted.
So you see how it's used.
Yes, and you connect it to a situation, running a marathon. That creates a mental picture.
Mental pictures help memory.
They're essential. Our brains think in images and stories, not lists.
So students should always learn words in sentences?
Always. Never learn a word alone. Always in context.
What's the second reason students forget words?
No repetition, or not enough repetition.
How much repetition do you need?
More than you think. Research shows you need to encounter a word at least 7 to 10 times before it sticks.
That many times?
Yes, and not all at once, spaced out over time.
Why spaced out?
Because of how memory works, your brain needs to retrieve information multiple times.
Can you explain that more?
Sure. Every time you try to remember something, you strengthen that memory. It's like exercising a muscle.
So forgetting and remembering again actually helps.
Exactly. That's called active recall. It's one of the most powerful learning techniques.
But students get frustrated when they forget.
I know, but they shouldn't. Forgetting is part of the process.
So what should they do?
Review words at specific intervals. First after 1 day, then after 3 days, then after a week, then after a month.
This is spaced repetition.
Exactly. It's scientifically proven to work.
Are there apps that do this automatically?
Yes, apps like Anki use spaced repetition algorithms. They show you words right when you're about to forget them.
That's clever.
It is. It maximizes learning efficiency.
Okay, so we have context and repetition. What's the third reason for forgetting?
Passive learning. Students see or hear words but don't use them.
Why is that a problem?
Because using a word creates a stronger memory than just seeing it.
Production versus recognition.
Exactly. Recognition is easier. You see the word and remember what it means.
But production is harder.
Much harder. You need to recall the word from memory without any visual cue.
So students should practice producing words, not just recognizing them.
Absolutely. That means speaking and writing.
How can they practice this?
Make sentences with new words. Write a short paragraph using them. Say them out loud.
Even if nobody's listening?
Even then, the act of producing the word strengthens the memory.
What about thinking? Does thinking in English help?
Very much. When you think of a word, you're practicing retrieval.
So narrating your day in English could help.
Definitely. I'm making coffee. I'm feeling tired. I need to finish my work.
Simple but effective.
Very effective. You're using vocabulary in context and producing it.
What's another reason students forget words?
Interference from their native language.
What does that mean?
Sometimes your native language gets in the way of learning English words.
How?
For example, false friends, words that look similar but mean different things.
Can you give an example?
In Spanish, embarazada looks like embarrassed, but it actually means pregnant.
So students remember the wrong meaning.
Exactly. Their native language interferes.
What can they do about this?
Be aware of false friends. Make a note when you find one. Pay extra attention to those words.
Any other interference issues?
Yes, sometimes students translate word for word from their language.
And that doesn't work in English.
Right. English has different sentence structures and expressions.
So they need to think in English patterns, not translate.
Exactly. This goes back to learning in context. See how English really works.
What about emotional connection? Does that affect memory?
Huge factor. We remember things that have emotional significance.
So boring vocabulary lists are the worst.
Absolutely. If you have no emotional connection to the material, it won't stick.
How can students create emotional connections?
Learn words that matter to them personally. If you love cooking, learn cooking vocabulary.
Not random words from a textbook.
Right. Learn words you'll actually use in your life.
That makes the learning meaningful.
Exactly. And meaning creates memory.
What about word associations? Do they help?
Very much. Connecting new words to words you already know.
How does that work?
Let's say you're learning enormous. You already know big. Connect them. Enormous means very, very big.
Or connect it to words that sound similar.
Yes, though be careful with that. Sometimes sound associations can be misleading.
But they can also be helpful memory tricks.
They can. We call these mnemonics.
Do mnemonics really work?
For some people, yes. It depends on your learning style.
What's an example of a good mnemonic?
Let's say you're learning library. You might imagine a lion reading a book. Lion, library.
That's silly.
Exactly. Silly images are easier to remember.
Because they're unusual.
Right. Your brain pays attention to unusual things.
What about stress? Does stress affect memory?
Absolutely. When you're stressed or anxious, your memory doesn't work as well.
That's why students forget words during tests.
Exactly. They know the words when they study, but under pressure, they disappear.
How can students manage this?
Practice in realistic conditions. If you'll need to speak in front of people, practice that.
Simulate the pressure.
Yes, and practice relaxation techniques, deep breathing, positive self-talk.
Mental preparation matters.
It really does. Confidence affects performance.
Let's talk about age. Do older learners have more trouble remembering vocabulary?
It's complicated. Older learners might take longer, but they can absolutely learn effectively.
They just need different strategies?
Sometimes, older learners often benefit from more structure and organization.
Like organizing words by topic?
Exactly. Creating mental categories, connecting new information to existing knowledge.
Which they have more of than young learners.
That's true. Life experience can actually be an advantage.
What about sleep? I've heard sleep affects memory.
Sleep is crucial. Your brain consolidates memories while you sleep.
So studying before bed is good?
It can be. Your brain processes that information during sleep.
But you still need to be awake to study it first.
Of course, sleep learning doesn't work, but sleep after learning does help.
How much sleep do students need?
The standard 7 to 8 hours. Quality matters too, not just quantity.
What about reviewing right before sleep?
That's a good technique. Light review before bed, nothing too intensive.
Just activating those memories.
Exactly. Then let your brain do the work while you sleep.
Let's talk about practical solutions. What's the most important thing students should do?
Use the words. That's number one.
Not just study them.
Right. You can't memorize your way to fluency. You have to use words in real communication.
Even if you make mistakes.
Especially if you make mistakes. Mistakes help you remember.
How so?
When you make a mistake and get corrected, you pay attention. That creates a strong memory.
So mistakes are learning opportunities.
Always. Don't be afraid of them.
What's the second most important solution?
Consistent, spaced review, not cramming.
Little and often.
Exactly. 15 minutes a day is better than 2 hours once a week.
Because of how memory consolidation works.
Right. Your brain needs regular reinforcement.
What about keeping a vocabulary notebook?
That can help, but only if you review it regularly.
Not just write words down and forget them.
Exactly. The notebook is useless if you don't review.
How should students organize their notebooks?
Include the word, a definition, an example sentence, and maybe a picture or personal connection.
Everything in one place.
Yes, make it rich with information and context.
What about digital tools versus paper?
Both work. It depends on personal preference.
Some people remember better when they write by hand.
That's true. The physical act of writing can strengthen memory.
But apps have advantages too.
Yes, they can remind you to review. They can use spaced repetition automatically.
So students should use what works for them.
Exactly. The best tool is the one you'll actually use consistently.
What about learning words in groups, like synonyms together?
Be careful with that. It can create confusion.
Why?
If you learn big, large, huge, enormous all at once, you might mix them up.
They're too similar.
Right. Better to learn one well, then add the others later.
Space them out.
Yes, and learn the nuances. When do you use huge versus enormous?
Context again.
Always context.
What about word families, like happy, happiness, happily, unhappy?
Those are good to learn together because they're connected.
You're learning the root and its variations.
Exactly. That's efficient and creates connections.
Do students need to learn every word they encounter?
No, that's impossible and unnecessary.
How do they choose which words to learn?
Focus on high-frequency words first, the most common words in English.
The words they'll use most often.
Right, and words relevant to their life and goals.
Personalized vocabulary.
Exactly. If you're a doctor, medical vocabulary matters more than cooking vocabulary.
Unless you love cooking.
Then learn both, but prioritize based on your needs.
What about passive vocabulary versus active vocabulary?
That's an important distinction.
Can you explain?
Passive vocabulary is words you recognize and understand when you hear or read them.
But you don't use them yourself.
Right. Active vocabulary is words you can produce in speaking and writing.
Your passive vocabulary is larger than your active vocabulary.
Always. Even native speakers have this difference.
Is that okay?
Perfectly okay. It's natural. Don't pressure yourself to actively use every word you know.
So some forgetting is normal.
Some words will move from active to passive memory. That's fine.
As long as you can recognize them.
Exactly. And if you need them again, you can reactivate them.
Memory is flexible.
Very flexible. Nothing is permanently forgotten. It's just harder to access.
That's encouraging.
It should be. Every word you've ever learned is still in your brain somewhere.
You just need the right trigger to recall it.
Exactly. That's why context and associations are so important.
They create pathways to the memory.
Perfect way to put it.
Before we finish, any final advice for students struggling with vocabulary memory?
Yes, be patient with yourself. Memory takes time.
Don't expect instant results.
Right, and don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's memory works differently.
Focus on your own progress.
Exactly. Celebrate when you remember words. Don't beat yourself up when you forget.
Forgetting is part of learning.
It is. Every time you forget and then remember again, you're strengthening that memory.
So it's not failure.
Not at all. It's how the process works.
What about reviewing old vocabulary?
Essential. Always cycle back to words you learned weeks or months ago.
Keep them active.
Yes, otherwise they fade into passive memory.
How often should students review old vocabulary?
At least once a month for older vocabulary, more often for recent words.
Building it into their routine.
Exactly. Make it a habit. Sunday vocabulary review, for example.
Consistency is everything.
It really is. More important than any single technique.
Well, this has been incredibly helpful, Emma. Thank you.
My pleasure. I hope students find this useful.
I think they will. Understanding why we forget helps us remember better.
That's exactly right.
So, everyone watching, remember these key points. Learn words in context, not isolation. Use spaced repetition. Actually use the words in speaking and writing. Don't be afraid of forgetting. It's part of the process. And be patient with yourself. Memory takes time to develop, but with the right strategies, you will remember more and forget less. Good luck with your vocabulary learning.